You're listening to Season 2 of Beyond Insights, your go-to podcast for all things accounting, business, and technology.
Unsure how to improve your leadership skills, or whether you're suited to being a leader to begin with? Looking for ways to build a stronger team or take better risks? Then stay tuned.
From cybersecurity, blockchain, and AI innovations to sustainability, employee retention, and work-life balance, we've got you covered.
We speak to knowledgeable and insightful guests from varied backgrounds, industries, and locations from all around the globe.
From this multiplicity of thought, we strive to find solutions to our most urgent business problems.
Whether you're a small business owner, an accountant, entrepreneur, or even a young professional looking to progress, this podcast is for you.
Thank you for tuning in. Let's dive right in and go beyond insights.
We spend a lot of time on this podcast talking about the importance of moving into new service offerings, trying new technologies, AI, and other innovations. But today we wanted to take a step back and consider the basics. After all, if you don't get the basics right, should you really be thinking about advanced or complex strategies? As we reach the end of the tax year in South Africa, we wanted to revisit some of the most important basic things that businesses should have in place to help their clients. We are joined by Damian Baker, Head of Cloud Accounting at Outsourced CFO, otherwise known as OCFO for short. OCFO provides integrity and professional excellence in financial consulting for ambitious SMEs. Their aim is to help clients rethink, automate, and scale their companies in the pursuit of business eminence. So let's dive in to Beyond Insights. Awesome. Thanks so much, Damian, for joining us today. Really excited to be talking to you about getting back to the basics, especially this time of year. I think it is quite important. For our listeners that aren't familiar with you, why don't you give us a bit of background?
Jamie, thanks for having me here. So, Damian Baker, I'm the head of Outsourced CFO's Cloud Accounting Division. So a bit about my background is I come from an accounting background. Studied accounting, absolutely love accounting, and don't do much accounting on a
now
daily
you don't
basis.
do very much
now,
accounting.
not so much.
Yeah.
But my background is fundamentally based from an auditing background and moved gradually into the accounting side. And it's an area that I feel I could add more value to clients. Auditing was great, taught me a lot. But I got to the point where adding value to the clients, and I felt the accounting industry, I can work alongside of our clients and help them build businesses that are scaling. And I've said this numerous times before as well. Accounting is one of those industries that's got a major impact on the economy. A business that's thriving has the ability to hire more people, and it's got a major impact. And that's why I'm so passionate about this industry.
Makes sense. Obviously, many years of experience dealing with lots and lots of different clients over the years and generations that you've been in the industry. What are some of the common mistakes most commonly made by small business owners?
Well, we're talking about accounting now.
Yes,
so I would
and
say
tax specifically,
and
I suppose.
is the lack of planning and the lack of prioritizing the accounting function. Because now we get into the tax year and the normal processes that people get into this mad rush. Oh my greatness, I have to file my 2024 tax return in a couple of days. You rush to your accountant, they are inundated as well. And it's that lack of prioritization, I would say, is one of the biggest mistakes that is currently happening. And how do you alleviate that? It's just by effectively planning. If we just touch base about your personal finances, you don't just get your paycheck in and you absolutely don't care what happens with it and you just blow it. Maybe some people do. But if you want to have proper control, make sure you know where your money is going. Every dollar, every rand, every cent, you want to know where it is going. And the same applies to your business. So it ties back to the tax. If you're going to rush into it, you're not going to have an effective view on what your tax is. You might be paying more. And you don't necessarily have to.
Of course, you want to avoid that at all costs.
100%.
Right? So why, Damian, would you say there is such a delay from small business owners when it comes to tax season filing time?
Jamie, it's probably the fear of the unknown and prioritization. Let's be honest, accounting can be a very daunting task. Tax in itself is a very complex field. And there's that element of fear of the taxman that people have. And I think it's that analysis paralysis that people have, like, I don't know what's going on, delay and delay and delay. So I think that is one of the key elements as to why people end up delaying this process.
It's so weird because it's not going anywhere, right?
It's just getting worse.
Business owners know every year it's time for filing season, got to get their taxes in.
100%.
And yet it's the same story every year. Would you say clients are becoming more disciplined with the submission of their stuff for tax season?
Jamie, yes. And I think there's the change that's happened in the accounting industry in the last couple of years. That barrier to effective accounting records has been reduced. There's great cloud accounting platforms out there currently that really makes it easy for you. I don't have my phone with me, but you can do your accounting on your phone. And I think that technology has made things simpler.
Sure.
Back in the day, you would, speaking as I'm this very old person, but I can remember this, that accounting was this element where you go to your accountant and you give a bunch of records to them and they sort it out.
Big box of slips and that sort of thing.
Exactly. Now we're on that real-time accounting where you and your accountant are working on a single ledger of truth. You do your invoicing out of your accounting system.
Yeah.
Your accountant has access to that immediately as
in
well.
real time.
And I think that is where it's become better over time as well.
Yeah.
Technology has enabled that barrier of complexity to be brought down.
Without, raising the fear factor, what would you say some of the consequences of late filing are for the business owner?
Fines and penalties.
Yeah.
Paying unnecessary tax. Let's be honest, cash is king at the moment.
Yeah.
And if you don't have to pay over X amount of dollars, rands over to your tax authorities, why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
I'm not saying avoid taxes, but plan effectively. If you go to that mad rush, you're going to miss certain documents. You're going to not claim all of your valid tax expenditure. Don't waste unnecessary cash.
Yeah.
And obviously it can get worse. The fines and penalties are quite stiff.
Sure.
And there's always the threat of imprisonment.
Yeah.
So avoid it.
Yeah, at all costs, especially
Definitely.
the imprisonment part.
Don't want to go down that route.
No. What are some of the common mistakes that you see small business owners making throughout the year, apart from, leaving their submission of taxes too late? What are some of the common mistakes that you see?
Honestly, I think it's a lack of prioritization of accounting. We have this thing called the financial hierarchy of needs. And at the top of this pyramid is your strategic direction. Everyone wants to strive for strategic direction.
Yeah.
But you don't have basic, accurate accounting information which forms the base of this pyramid. You have to have basic, accurate accounting information. You need to know what your income is. You need to know what your expenses is. You need to know what your profitability is. And the only way you're going to do that is effectively keeping your accounting records up to date.
Sure.
It's not a daunting task.
Yeah.
There's great products out there that makes your life fundamentally simpler.
Yeah. I suppose you could, be diligent with capturing all of your expenses on a monthly basis and still have absolutely no idea the standing of your business in terms of cash flow. How important would you say the submission of tax documents is and meeting those filing deadlines is on the financial health of your business and cash flow?
So Jamie, I'm sure there's a lot of listeners here that can relate with this. It's this mad rush. I don't know where my papers is. Is it my laptop bag? Is it my backpack? There's technology out there.
Yeah.
You can take your phone and snap a picture of it.
Yeah.
And you can
Never have to
throw
worry about
away.
it again. Yeah.
Small disclaimer, just make sure that that document is visible, not blurry.
Yeah.
That happens. But that barrier to have that documentation maintained and kept is being removed. The tools are incredible at the moment.
Yeah.
Leverage them so that you can actively manage your business. Because the tools are so powerful at the moment, you can put your supplier rules in.
Yeah.
You can put customer rules in. You issue an invoice and you know your credit term is 15 days. So the tools have the ability to do that predictive cash flow as well, based upon the inputs that you give it.
Yeah.
So a task that would have taken people days to do in Excel, the tools is already doing it for us.
Amazing. Automating, building efficiencies into
100%.
businesses. I think it's the way, it is the future. The future is here.
But we are biased on this, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it's
of
what we
course.
live and breathe.
We're used to it, right?
Exactly,
But there are tons of business owners out there that still have to adopt cloud technology and get there. And I think we
100%.
will get there eventually.
One day we'll
right?
get there.
We just have to keep championing the cloud.
We have to just be the people that push forward and making sure that it becomes the norm, but it is starting.
Yeah. Talking about OCFO and cloud accounting specifically, how does your cloud accounting division help businesses stay compliant?
Such a loaded question. Jamie. We want to remove that barrier on accounting compliance. We step in and we are your trusted business advisor. And I'm not saying that lightly. We want to walk a path with you. For us to do effective accounting, compliance work with you, we need to understand how your business operates. It's the only way we can add value into your business. And the comment I would give you is, for anyone that's listening today, is choose your accounting partner wisely. If it's a very transactional relationship, maybe reconsider it. Accounting firms in general, us as well, we work with hundreds of different clients. And we can pull different learnings from all of those clients, their mistakes that they've made, their wins that they have made. And we can give you that input into your business from years of learning. We can give that advice to you. We can help you get more profitable. We can help you optimize your operations. And we can also help you effectively plan your taxes.
Sure.
And what I mean by that is that we look at effective operations. There are certain tax deductions available in every territory that you are operating in. You may not be aware of it, but your accountant helps you unlock that potential.
Of course, they're the experts and they're competent with various tax laws. So just going back to, a new client approaches OCFO, do you have a specific onboarding period with the client where you let the client know exactly what the expectations are from the get-go? Because it's a relationship, right?
Jamie, 100%. We have a very detailed onboarding process that we follow. And I'm going to maybe just change the conversation there. You join a brand new company. Do you expect to know exactly what's happening on that company on day one?
You can't just walk through the doors and expect to know where everything is and
100%.
what to do. Yeah.
And that's the same thing with any relationship with an accounting firm, tax firm, our fractional CFO service offering as well. The full value of that service may only be fully felt after 3 months. And people get that shock like, whoa, 3 months, why do you say that?
Yeah.
We need to understand, first month, we need to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, what's the state of everything?
100%. And sometimes it is in a state.
A nightmare, yeah.
You have to really understand what is going on. There might catch-up work has to be performed. And then we start building our processes with you. We build out our internal SOPs with you and your team as well. And we understand where your business is going.
Yeah.
We clearly explain what our service offering is from the beginning, because this is where we're starting.
Yeah.
And we have a dedicated onboarding team that holds your hand for the first 3-4 months, depending on how complex it is. And once everything's ironed out and it's running like clockwork, we hand it over to our dedicated accounting specialist teams. So dedicated monthly accounting team, tax specialist, payroll specialist, and you have your dedicated accounting manager that you work with.
Expectations are met
100%.
From the get-go. What's expected from me as the accounting practice? What's expected from you, Mr. Client? Who do I need to speak to on a monthly basis, daily basis for any queries that arise?
That
Makes
expectation
sense.
management is critical in any business relationship. Because if you don't voice your expectations, and the accounting firm also doesn't voice what our expectations are, there's going to be a mismatch.
Of course. Be clear from the get-go.
100%.
Absolutely. Speaking about cloud accounting specifically, what are the main advantages? I know we touched on this a bit earlier with regards to tax filing.
Quicker, more efficient, up-to-date accounting records.
Yep.
It just speeds up everything. The quality of the accounting data is significantly better. The capturing tools that we use as well, that uses optical character recognition, just speeds up everything. Documents are more accurate than ever before. So your tax filings can even be more accurate. And plus there's the ability that you can file like your VAT returns directly through the accounting system. Fundamentally quicker.
Removes small finger errors along the process as well.
Jamie,
so many advantages.
I've had clients that accidentally put an extra 0 on a VAT return.
That's a mistake you don't want to make.
And then there's months that you need to get that fees back. You don't want to have those errors.
No, not at all. So obviously you've got a wealth of experience and you've dealt with many, many clients. Do you have one specific example of a client that was really struggling, and how you and your department kind of intervened to make a success out of that story?
Jamie, there's so many examples. There's this one construction company that we have in Cape Town. I absolutely love working with this client. When they joined Outsourced CFO, the accounting records was not a priority. Okay, and when we started the onboarding process, we could see that. And we've walked a very long path with this client to the point that their business is growing.
Yeah.
They have insights. They can make informed business decisions as to what is happening on a day-to-day basis in their business. Plus, we've got the SIFT that we use as well, and it gives them insights into what is actively happening, the benchmarking. They can compare themselves to other companies in the industry. This was fictional for them initially. But now they're at that point in time, management accounts are done before the 15th of the month. Compared to that, you're lucky if you get a set of management accounts 3 months later. So it has fundamentally changed the way in which they even operate. They have got live processing compared to manually written documents.
What a nightmare.
I would say that's been a very successful story for me. There's hundreds to share. But the journey we walked with this person was absolutely incredible. And to see how the business model has changed, how they're operating, is just leaps and bounds compared to what it was.
And so rewarding too, I suppose.
And obviously now they're getting to a point where they're paying taxes because they're profitable, because they know where to focus on spending money.
Yeah, makes sense. Let's talk some practical tips for anyone that's potentially behind on tax filings. What steps could they take today?
Admit that there's a problem.
Don't be in denial.
Admit you need help.
Yeah.
So I would say the first thing that you need to do is prioritize it. We've mentioned it quite a few times. But also, let's be realistic. If it's not a priority for you because family is there, you've got to run your business, do not be afraid to reach out to an accounting firm to partner with you. And I'll hit home on a personal story as well. My wife's medical practice, I used to do the accounting for it, the day-to-day bookkeeping, and it put pressure on me. It got to the point that I had to spend evenings capturing all of the information, and I really just got to a point, I'm like, why am I being a hypocrite here? I outsource to other companies the whole time.
Practice what you preach.
I phoned up a friend and I'm like, listen, you guys, I need you to take over the bookkeeping function. I've got more time with my family. I've got now a role that I play just a high-level review on what's happening, and the accounting records are up to date on a weekly basis. So reach out if you don't have the time to do it, because it is going to catch up at some point in time.
The longer you leave it, the worse it's going to get.
It's not going to get better.
No one's going anywhere.
100%.
Great, that's fantastic. What are some of the key documents that the South African small business owner should always have on hand when it comes to this time of year?
Your supporting documents. Our income tax returns are obviously quite different compared to other territories in the world. Our tax authorities want us to submit a set of financial statements along with your income tax return. So it is income tax season now. It is provisional tax season as well. Regarding your provisionals, you need to be able to prove what your income is. You need to be able to prove what your expenditure is. You never know when the tax authorities are going to say, but hey, Jamie, prove this to us. And you never want to be in a position
where you can't.
You can't. So what documents do you need? Basic, accurate accounting information, a proper profit and loss statement, your balance sheet as well, so you can actually just prove. Now, from a provisional point, what was your income? What was your expenditure? And what assumptions you made. I know this sounds so daft saying this, but document what you did. Write it down on a Google sheet or Excel. Just keep record of it. Because I guarantee you, in 6, 7, 8 months' time, when this is potentially flagged, you're not going to remember it. Then there's going to be this mad scramble and you're going to have a panic. If you wrote it down, you don't have to remember it.
It's like retracing your steps in the dark.
100%. So just keep record of this. And obviously now from a VAT filing point of view, keep your valid VAT invoices.
Helpful tips there. What would you say some of the most commonly overlooked tax deductions or benefits are for SMEs in South Africa?
That's also a loaded question, John. Commonly overlooked elements is effective wear and tear allowances. SARS gives a very detailed guideline about what wear and tear allowances you can have. We had the solar installation deduction that we could have.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
Take advantage of
it. Then there's the element, I know it's an area that is sometimes overlooked, but we can give back. Look at which charity organizations are out there and support them. But when you do that, just ask for your Section 18A certificate. Otherwise, you cannot deduct that.
And NGOs have these on hand because they get asked it all the time.
Yes. So you can effectively help out. And that goodwill element behind it. Other areas is just making sure that your data is accurate. Because if you don't have accurate data and your expenditure is not effectively recognized, you're going to end up having a higher profit, therefore paying more taxes. But I would say the deductions that are available is your wear and tear that's not effectively looked at. You don't even know about it.
Yeah.
Like some people don't even recognize the depreciation in the accounting records. So now you've got this big acquisitions of vehicles, equipment, and you're not claiming back the wear and tear on it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many clients I've seen that come over to us that's never claimed wear and tear. I'm like, you bought this 4 million rand machine. Insane. And you could have claimed that back over a couple of years.
Yeah.
But like, we weren't aware of that. So yes.
Good tip. In an ideal world, what does the tax preparation journey look like during the course of a year as a small business owner? Just keeping records throughout?
Just keeping records throughout the year. It alleviates that anxiety. And it just creates that good habits.
Yeah.
If you just consistently keep up to date with your accounting records, I'm not saying do it yourself. If you can, great. If you can't, partner with an accounting firm that will keep you accountable. That will be that annoying person when they have to be. And bug you to get the information out. And when it comes to your provisional tax season, when it comes to your annual filings, things are in place. So it just alleviates that pressure.
Yeah, and you don't have to stress about it because someone's going to remind you and they got 100%. Your back. Makes sense. Any other tax tips for SMEs in South Africa or small businesses in general?
Know what you know and don't pretend what you don't know. Honestly, that is a very dangerous territory to be in. If you don't know what the tax rulings are, if you don't understand the taxes, partner with someone that does.
Yeah. Good advice.
It will cost you a bit more, but what is the cost of getting it wrong?
Yeah. We spoke about some of the consequences earlier as well, so enough said there, right?
Focus on what you know, and if you don't know, get professional help.
Makes sense. Some rapid fire questions for you, Damian. One piece of software that you can't live without, and don't be biased and say the two that spring to mind immediately.
I would honestly say if I'm thinking about a business owner, it is my cloud accounting package. The reason for that is it is at the core of absolutely everything that connects into it.
It's the anchor.
It's absolutely the anchor. And I would say that a expense capturing tool is incredibly important. But Jamie, it's just my apps that I keep track of my to-do list. You need an effective application that helps you plan. We have so much happening in our head. You know that, and I'm using a very silly example here. My car license needs to be reviewed in October.
I always forget about it.
My app reminds me 2 months before, a month before. It can be a calendar. Just put it in a place to clear that mental clutter that you have, that the applications help you just control what's going on in your life.
And
it can be personal, business, if you have children at school. Like, I would say that is a critical element just to help you remember things.
Yeah, important. One book or podcast that you've really been into lately?
Oh, books. There's so many of them. But I would say James Clear, Atomic Habits.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Absolutely love that book. It is so principle-based, and it has given me a lot of insights on how I do things unintentionally that are wrong. Those bad habits and how to break it. I think that's been incredible for me. I am in a leadership position as well, and to bring out the best in the team, there's a book that's been really instrumental for me as well, is Multipliers by Liz Wiseman. It's a long read.
I've heard of it.
But it's an incredibly good book, and it just brings into the principles about how to effectively lead.
I'm going to check it out.
Anyone can manage, but you need to be an effective leader. And that book was pivotal to that. And when it comes to podcasts, yes, I don't know, there's so many. I would say that Jay Shetty, I kind of enjoy his content as well. He's got a lot of different people that he speaks to, and it's such random topics, but it really makes you think at times.
Absolutely.
And a podcast that I would recommend for absolutely every business owner, how to be moderately successful.
Okay, I'll check that one out.
It is absolutely incredible. It speaks about a lot of business-based principles. He refers back to different books as well. It took me forever to work through that podcast, because now there's a interesting concept that he ties back to a book. I'm like, okay, let's go read this book. So I would say how to be moderately successful. If you apply those principles in there, you'll go a far way.
I like that. What is one of the most valuable lessons that you've learned when building a business?
2 elements to it. Know what you know and know what you don't know. And there's nothing wrong with admitting if you don't know something. Don't pretend to know something if you don't. And just being humble. Honestly, getting to the point, this week I've made a mistake with one of my clients. Overlooked an email. It had an impact on the client. Instead of hushing over, own up to it. You build rapport with the client and you move on.
And you can fix it.
Exactly.
One thing that you want listeners to take away from today's episode?
Have a hard look at your current way that you keep recording your business. And if you cannot now sit there and quickly think about what your profit is, what your revenue is, maybe it's time to consider re-looking at how you run your business.
Cool. Thanks so much for your time today, Damian. Really enjoyed chatting to you.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks.
Cool. Cheers, everyone.
Bye.